All right, everybody, we are back for our final demo, hot and sour soup. So I've got my recipe here. I've got it just taped to my my cupboard so that I can see it. And so it calls for chicken stock, shiitake mushrooms, julienne carrots, vinegar, soy sauce, minced garlic, minced ginger, chili sauce, little cornstarch, diced tofu, sesame oil, white pepper, 1 egg scrambled, and some green onions. And the first part of the directions is to save 1/4 of a cup of chicken stock. So I'm going to save 2 ounces of chicken stock right there. And I'm just going to set that off to the side for now. And we'll get back to that later. Okay? I've got my pot right here. And I've got a few other things off camera. I got my chili sauce, my cornstarch, I got my vinegar, soy sauce, sesame oil. So as I look, you know, the very first thing is 4 cups of chicken stock, which I have right here with 2 ounces reserved. 3 shiitake mushrooms, okay, which are going to be thinly sliced. So just like with the other one, oops, I broke that one. Make sure that you remove the stem, okay. And then we are going to thinly slice the shiitake mushroom. And even the broken one, I can, you know, we'll slice that one. There we go. So we'll just go down the list. We've got our shiitakes. Okay, right there. Next, it calls for julienne of 1/2 carrot. So I've got the other reserved portion of my carrot. I'm going to make this, just kind of cut it in half. So I have 2 pieces that are approximately 1 inch in length. I'm going to cut just a little flat spot so that it'll sit flat. The noise in the background is my wife making the rest of the egg rolls. So to julienne, we're talking 1/8 of an inch thick slices. Okay, 1/8 of an inch, guys, and that's one of the things you guys struggled with a little bit on Friday. Was your 1/8 of an inch was more like 1/2 of an inch. So nice and thin. Remember, set it on top, down and forward. Set it on top, down and forward, down and forward. Okay. Cut all your planks. I'm going to do that first. Cut all my planks. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay. So my julienne carrot. Okay. That's actually probably enough. I had a pretty good sized carrot. But we'll see. Go ahead and cut the rest. All right, now I'm going to take those planks and I'm going to now julienne them. So they are 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to take and stack a few of these on top of each other. Certainly I want you to do what you feel comfortable with. And if you don't feel comfortable with stacking 3 or 4 of them on top of each other, just maybe stack 1 or 2 on top of each other. But try to practice so that you're not just doing 1 at a time. Remember, down and forward, down and forward. Okay. A piece of mushroom, a little carrot. That looks good. Okay. Remember, everything needs to be kind of bite-sized. Nothing too big, because you don't get a fork and a knife with soup to cut it. So you want to make sure everything is small enough to pretty much fit on a spoon. Okay. So we've got a little bit there. I don't think I'll need the rest. So I'll just save these for maybe a little bit of stir fry later. All right, so got my carrots right there. Nice thing about these, they will not take long to cook. They'll cook very quickly. Okay, now green onions. Little tops, as I mentioned, are a little wilted. Recipe calls for 2. I like green onions, so I'm going to go with 3. And I'm just going to thinly slice those green onions, both the white and the green part. Remember, just down and forward. Keeping those fingers tucked back till you get to the end. Okay. And now those are our green onions. Okay, right there. And right there. All right, now we can do our garlic and our ginger. Okay, so again, for the ginger, I just need to peel it. So I'm just peeling it off camera. All right, so. And just to let you know, you can get 12 egg rolls out of the filling. My wife just finished up the egg rolls and we were able to get 12. So. All right, so just like we did earlier, we're just gonna thinly slice that ginger, and then I will just mince it real quick and add it to my cup. So just gonna kind of thin little slivers, okay, just like that. Turn my little pile in the opposite direction, and I'm just gonna chop up that ginger. Now that looks like a little too much ginger for this recipe, but that doesn't mean I'll throw it away. I know that for the lo mein, I need ginger. So whatever I don't use, I can reserve for that recipe. So there's my ginger. All right, now my garlic, I want to cut off the root end. And I'm just going to, just like earlier for the egg rolls, go in one direction, then go in the opposite direction, and then just thinly slice into small pieces all the way to the end. You add 2 cloves of garlic if you like garlic, as I've mentioned. I like garlic, but I like it tasteful. All right. Push those together. Get a little cup. Oh, we're running out of cups. I'm going to just take about half of that ginger that I have. And the other half I'm going to save. So I've got a little bit of ginger in there. I got my garlic in there. The rest of that I'm just going to go ahead and save for my lo mein. All right. So there's that. Take a moment to wipe off my board. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. And now the last is my tofu. Cutting up my tofu for the soup. Here's the tofu cakes right there. Okay, you got 2 of them. Again, we may not use them all. The nice thing though is whatever we don't use for the soup, you can, in essence, you could use them in your stir fry, your lo mein. So if we don't use all of this tofu, please save it, reserve it for your stir fry. All right, so I've got my tofu. It's small diced, okay? So small little pieces like that. And I just have a little plate over here that I will add those to. And I don't know, I'll go ahead and use maybe another half. And then the other half I'll save for my stir fry. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so I got all my mise en place. Right here, I'm gonna go ahead and remove my cutting board. Set it off to the side, and we'll go ahead and start cooking. All right, so I am going to just kind of move this over here, gonna move this over here, this. Clean up that a little bit. Okay, gonna move my soup pot right there. Gonna bring my camera over, all right. There we go. Just kind of tilt that down a little bit. All right, there we go. Make sure I turn on the right burner. I made the mistake once and I turned on the wrong burner and I melted my tripod. So we don't want to do that. All right. So I am heating up my pot. My pot is, 4 quart, so it's about a gallon. I've got 1 quart. Actually, I think it's a 3 quart, sorry. So it's plenty ample big. You definitely want to make sure that you have enough room in there for being able to stir and move things around without them splashing. So while we wait for that, let's review. Okay, so set aside a quarter of a cup of chicken stock for later use. Step 2, add oil to soup pot over low heat and warm for approximately 1 minute. Add our mushrooms, our carrots, our ginger, our garlic, and cook over low heat for approximately 1 to 2 minutes. So I've got my pan there. As you can see, I did kind of tap the inside. I don't suggest it as far as testing unless you feel real confident in yourself, but it's a quick little tap just to see if the pan's getting hot. So I added about a tablespoon of oil to the bottom of my soup pot. It is on low, so I'm going to go ahead and add, just as the directions state, we'll add our mushrooms. Okay. We are going to add our carrots. Okay. And we're going to add our ginger and our garlic. Just like that. Okay. Now we will need a spoon. I have put all my spoons back. Okay, so I have my spoon. And I'm going to just gently stir. Now I'm going to lower my heat. So I just want to sweat these vegetables. Okay, just sweat. Don't want to get any color. I don't want to burn or scorch the bottom, so I'm going to really turn this down to a very low setting. Good. Okay, I'm going to add a little salt. And I'm going to add a little bit of white pepper initially. Now, usually with hot and sour soup, the heat or the hot part of the soup comes from white pepper. We're going to use a little bit of both white pepper and chili sauce. The chili sauce adds a nice little kind of pungent flavor, a little bit of sourness because it also has some vinegar in it. So what I'm looking for is I'm just looking to see that the carrots are turning a brighter orange color. That tells me that they're starting to cook. and that the shiitake mushrooms are starting to wilt and get soft. And I can see that both those things are now occurring and happening in my pot. All right, so it says to cook for 1 to 2 minutes. I'm going to go just a little longer because I can see that those carrots need just a little bit more cooking. Okay, but not much. The salt will help because the salt is a dehydrator. It'll help pull a little bit of moisture from those carrots. Okay, I think we are good to go. I'm going to turn my heat up now to high, and I want this to come to a boil. So I'm going to add my chicken stock. Okay. Now we are to step 4. We've just finished with our mushrooms, our carrots, our ginger, and our garlic. So step 4 is add stock, vinegar, soy sauce, and chili sauce, and bring to a boil and reduce to a simmer. And simmer for 10 minutes. All right, so as I mentioned, if you guys don't have measuring spoons, just use a teaspoon, okay? 3 teaspoons makes a tablespoon. So how much chili sauce does it ask for? Chili sauce, 1 teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon of chili sauce. Okay, add that. Soy sauce. It calls for 2 tastes. So for me, if I was doing, for my liking, I'm going to add probably a tablespoon. So there's 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons makes a tablespoon. I'm going to stir that in. Vinegar is the next one, and that is 1 to 2 ounces of vinegar. Excuse me. So I have a measuring cup right up top here.